experiment in Serbia. The only example I know was a year or 2 years ago, Mladen Batičević, a Serbian director, tried to want and he did it. He tried to erase money over the internet because the topic was interesting.
Maybe and in cinema comunisto Mila Turajnić.
No, she didn't try that way. She managed to explore it, to expand it afterwards, but she had a pretty good, solid amount of money and already made the film. But Mladen Batičević didn't have 10% of money and managed to raise a significant amount by a subject, because the topic was a guy that majority in Serbia really loved and wanted to see film about it. So it's the only example I know, and that worked. And there are examples in different fields, musics and music albums, video industry. But as for film, I know.
Yeah.
Because it's really quite popular. But it's become
so it's called crowdfunding.
Crowdfunding, yes. And I know that there is, for example, one from Skåne called Hannah Sköld. She crowdfunded one of her films. And she also...
It came to Berlin?
Yes.
No, was it San Sebastian?
I don't remember. Yeah, with...
Granny's Dancing on the Table.
Yeah, Granny's Dancing on the Table is a very experimental movie where she mixed animation and a feature film about a girl who was abused by her father, living, very isolated, and how the girl eventually runs away from home. And there, parallelly, the story about her grandmother who was dancing on the table, a very happy woman who left her Swedish family in order to live in America. So this is the animated part. It's very beautiful film.
Oh yeah, I like the film.
Yeah. But her first film was Nasty Old People. It was it's an old people's home with nasty old people who were very nasty. It was very funny. But that film she released on the Pirate Bay, and that made kind of a big talk in Sweden since she released it on the Pirate Bay. But now the Pirate Bay is kind of down and it's...
It depends where. Serbia functions very good.
Yeah, it does.
I'm sorry, I have to say that as a director, but and I would be awfully sad if it would happen to me. But when you live in Serbia and you're not you don't have the opportunity to see everything that's important in the industry, and it's released all over the world. Torrents are really helpful.
But it's so sorry, because both Peter Sunde and the other one who started the Pirate Bay, they've been imprisoned.
Really?
Yeah. So they spent, one of them, he fled to, I think it's in Thailand or Cambodia or something, and he has never come back. But this Peter Sunde was one of the co-founders of the Pirate Bay. He spent, I don't know, a long time in prison, and millions and millions of...
They became drug addicts also, didn't they? Or
one of them.
There was so many tragedies about these.
Lots of tragedies around them. But now Peter Sunde is released and he started something new. I don't remember what.
Drug trafficking?
Yeah, exactly. Probably. No, and also very popular in Sweden is the transmedia. Do you work a lot with transmedia here?
Yeah, what's transmedia?
Yeah. What's transmedia?
No.
It's combining different medias. So if you make a film, then you have an offspring in a game or a book, or things like that. And that's also, we have actually in Skåne, we have it's called Boost Helsingborg, and they are very focused on this transmedia things where you cross over different medias. So there was also funding to have from those kind of regional funds in anyway in Skåne. I don't know how it's in the rest of Sweden, but they also promote this transmedia work, because Granny is Dancing on the Table was also kind of transmedia, because she had homepage. I don't remember if it was a Facebook thing where people could send stories that she then used in her films, and they send photos and things like that, because it was about grandmas. So she also made a separate exhibition of the stories that she got from that she both used in the film and then made separate
And the country has a fund that finances that.
Sorry?
Does the country have a fund that finances
we
that,
have
or it's in some sort
No,
of NGO
we have
money?
we have a fund, but it's not very lot of money financing it. But it's always a
But
small
it's
part of
supported
it.
as an idea.
Supported, and they're really interested, because Sweden is also very big in the gaming industry.
Yeah, for instance, Mikolasic, he went to the game industry because he has so much interest in it. But also,
What's the name?
Yusuf Fares, he made a film called Yala Yala that was
very popular local movies which comes out. He just left art and going and finding art within the game industry.
Yeah.
But he said that he is very young in that, because there is much higher players there, and he's like nobody there. But I just imagine how he can put creativity in just gaming industry. It's very, I don't know. Since I'm following my kids playing, it's like no, nothing is.
And there are more artists also nowadays that tries to combine,
Because it's
gaming
commercial.
with
this is
art
something
and
which
things
goes.
like that. And also actually in the south of Sweden, in Malmö, we have this big gaming studio called I don't remember their name now, but they are established in Malmö, and they bought a whole block to install themselves, because there is so much money in the gaming industry. It's much more money in the gaming industry today than it is in film, I think, because it's a huge. Also, in Sweden, it's a huge export. Huge export. Actually.
Yeah.
Your TV series are extremely popular. We're talking about it. Extremely popular in both our countries. I think I'm not neighbor to it. Particularly the crime, thriller story.
And on a personal level, I don't understand it, because
I do.
Since I'm in the board, I know how many interesting films you are making in the whole Europe nowadays, and they are fantastic stories. And sometimes I almost cry, because not so many people can see these movies as I can. And that's a tragedy. And since I also travel to a lot of film festivals, instead of that, they spend like 10 or 20 hours on TV series that maybe might be really good at the beginning, but then they get boring, and you will never. It's hard to remember a director of a TV series. A film stays so much longer on the IMDb, and also retrospectives, and when you make filmographies about people, then you skip the TV series and then you go into you
Can't talk about the rest of the world, but in our culture, the Nordic crime serials are pretty much exotic.
Yeah.
They are very popular because they're practically different from anything we saw until 10, 15 years ago, until they became popular. And I think at this point, at this moment, Serbian broadcasters are re-releasing the at least 2, maybe 3 serials for the 3rd time.
Yeah.
Serbian major broadcast radio television of Serbia is at the moment releasing for the 2nd or 3rd time some Dr. Beck serial, then the Braun Bridge was then again for the 5th time probably. It's unbelievably popular.
Yeah.
I don't think Serbians would know, and Montenegrins also would know a bit of Nordic culture unless they were
That's
Come
right.
to the TV.
Grand
About
Circle.
the TV series,
So if anything's good in that, because I do like to watch that, I admit, if there's anything good in that, they're very hooked to Nordic culture at the moment.
Yeah. But it's a trend right now, and it might end in 5 years. Who
You
knows?
hope so.
But the scriptwriters, they get sometimes 50%, 100% more in salary when they're writing a script for a TV series
Yeah, it's more revenue.
compared to a
Film.
feature film.
Yeah.
Okay, we are running out of time, and friends, yeah, we have a lot of small independent production companies. So if you're interested to
I
co-produce,
have this book.
yeah, you will find a list of producers. It goes like this. So
I am interested anyway.
the best thing is maybe to
Google them.
yes to Google
To see
them.
how
And also, if you see a film that you like, a Swedish film that you like, and try to look at the production company on IMDb, and then Google on them and see what kind of projects they have. Ask Jelena, ask me, and Anna, and we should try to answer. But also come to Swedish film festivals. I mean, Gothenburg Film Festival has an industry section, so it's really good to be there and to meet a lot of people and salespeople and.
When is the festival?
It's always when it's a terrible climate in Sweden. It's always snowing and it's very windy in the beginning of February,
February.
end of January, beginning of February.
I know. I was shooting
So if you go to
in the end
Berlin-
of December.
Yeah. So if you first go to Gothenburg, then it's almost Berlin.
Afterwards.
Yeah.
It's after.
But between
Yeah.
is Balcony Film Festival.
Yeah,
Just,
yeah.
no.
Yes.
Yes.
So it's at the same time. Yes, you can actually combine Balkan Film Festival, Gothenburg Film Festival.
Yeah, we
in
are going
Sweden.
always after
Yeah.
and just actually after, because Berlin starts in the first week of February and we used to be second week of February, but they're moving. Now I see that they are moving toward the spring, you know, and I was like, no, we are a week after.
And they have always big themes at the Gothenburg Film Festival. They have Italian directors that came to a couple of years ago. I don't think they have Balkan film for many years.
Yes, where? In Stockholm or?
In Gothenburg.
In Gothenburg. Well, they take one director, one movie,
But maybe we should try to.
very, yeah. I tried to do that with Stockholm Film Festival, but
Yeah.
they were like, no.
No, Stockholm Film Festival is
But
more.
Göteborg,
Gothenburg is so
I
much
would
better
be
when it comes
happy.
to
yeah.
meet.
Yeah, but about Balkan Noir, I'm just thinking of this. We have a guy from Malmö who's made a film, A Train, for 5 hours. He shot the whole film on the train. These 5 hours it took to come to Stockholm, and it's a short love story. And what's his Drachen Kuljanin?
Uh-huh.
And no, it's very funny because it won a festival in Warsaw, I think.
Really?
Yeah. And it's very. I saw it. It's very funny. It's about this. It's a man and a woman who meet.
When was that?
He shot it 2 years ago.
Do you have that film or the name?
I have the name of the film.
No.
To Escape a Wedding, it's called.
Yes.
It's a good title.
Yes.
Very good
And now
title.
he's also made a new film, actually called Balkan Noir.
Oh yeah, that one I've seen.
Yes.
That was great at the Gothenburg
Yes,
Film Festival.
yes.
Yeah.
So that's
With-
also Darshan Kuljanin, and he lives in Malmö.
Ah,
And he always, he's the kind of same filmmaker as I. He said, I never get any financing from nobody. We are doing it on our own. And we are finding friends who want to be in the films. And then they say, if we get some financing afterwards, everybody will get paid. But first, no money, but maybe afterwards.
he's
And he
thinking
always,
right.
because there are.
But that's very
Yeah.
interesting that you
Yeah.
said a lot of people are that cocky in the film industry today, and then the Swedish Film Institute will, oh look at that, this is very interesting. So the
And
next
then
film
yes.
we will probably support, or maybe the third one. But it's a very good way of starting
Exactly.
and to try to.
Otherwise, you're just waiting.
Yeah,
Nothing
yeah.
happens.
Exactly. Because that's how we kind of finance our feature films.
Yeah, so this is the international market. So more than, now it's 231 foreign film festivals, including yours,
Yeah.
and more than 80 prizes per year, and 30 films were sold. That we are very happy, of course. And this is a really interesting film. It won the finest prize at Un Certain Regard this year in Cannes, and it's called Border, and it's made by Border. Ali Abbasi, who was educated at the Danish Film School, and it was a novel by Jean-Ivy de Lindqvist, and he also made a story called Let the Right One In. That was made by Thomas Alfredson, a kind of horror movie.
What is the name of the director of the board?
Ali Abbasi.
Ali Abbasi.
Yeah. So.
What was it in Swedish?
Gräns.
Yes, I haven't seen it.
No, but it has its premiere, local premiere in September.
Ah, okay. Now I understand.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, the cemetery. Yeah, we are working a lot with the cemetery. Centenary, sorry, 100 years celebration of Ingmar Bergman. But it's interesting because for me it's so important to, when I come abroad and to talk to English and international film journalists, they have and also filmmakers, they are so inspired by Ingmar Bergman, more than in Sweden. But that's typical. That was the same with ABBA, and that no one gets. It's a Swedish. It might be a Swedish phrase. No one, Swedish motto maybe. No one will become a prophet in his own country. But that, so that.
Or the Oedipus complex.
Yeah.
To kill the father.
Yeah. But Ingmar Bergman is extremely interesting. And it was also extremely interesting for Poland when they now it's quite a terrible cultural situation in Poland, as you know. But before it was kind of they said that because Ingmar Bergman he makes the interesting questions about the religion and about God's silence and also about the father figure, how you need to destroy the father figure sometimes, and that so Polish young people were extremely inspired by Ingmar Bergman like 10, 15 years ago, but now it's a tougher situation there. Yeah, so you know them very. He's so famous, the Death from the Seventh Sea. And young people in Sweden, they haven't seen the film, but now we have.
Everybody knows
The
it.
Death.
Yeah, because you have seen so many remakes from that. Okay, so yeah.
You're welcome.
You were tak.
I think I need to take a shower. I think.
Yeah. Well, thank
But-
you, Jan,
Yes.
very much. Well, panelists
We will speak about documentaries as well.
yeah.
Oh, we were talking about the documentary arena. You are working with
Yeah, yeah.
documentaries, yeah.
Of course, much more.
Yeah.
I'm interested in
But
documentaries
then
and how it goes in your country with the Swedish Film Institute.
With
is
the
it some-
documentary.
With
Yeah.
documentaries.
yeah, we have actually two documentary film commissioners right now. And they have their eyes like this for all over the world. So it's, for instance, a lot of filmmakers from Iran who makes interesting documentaries that get funding from the Swedish Film Institute. Of course, they are Swedish citizens, but they have also collaborations with their own
Swedish
countries.
producers.
Yeah. So, and I can give you the name to these two and the email addresses. But of course, you need a kind of, and I can also give you the production companies, the biggest production companies for documentaries. And if you are,
Nice. Yeah.
and then you
Thank
can make. I mean, also the regional funds might be interested because you can do the.
All Balkan or something like that.
Yeah.
Of course.
And it's been a real rise in documentaries.
Yeah.
Because we also
Yeah.
have, a documentary film shows. It's called Doc Lounge, But they have started, first it started in Malmö, the dog lounge, they every Tuesday every month they had a documentary lounge showing documentary films. And now it's spread to, so I think they have in now it's in Gothenburg and I think in Stockholm as well, the dog lounge has come. And then also in Malmö they have very good documentary production companies as well. With
Fredrik
Gerten and Magnus Gerten.
two brothers who are very
And their films has gone really well.
and they are extremely, both these brothers of Gerten, they are extremely interested in documentaries about politics.
About politics.
Yeah, both old from the history, but also nowadays, and so I will also actually I can
Maybe we can change emails and.
Because they're good. They also made is it the Magnus Gerten or Fredrik who made the film about Zlatan Ibrahimovic?
both.
Both, okay, yeah, because
The young
also-
Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
Yeah, the
Oh,
young
yeah.
Zlatan
Yeah.
Ibrahimovic. They're from Malmö.
Yeah.
This,
They filmed
nice.
him when he was only 17 or 18
Yeah.
years old,
Great.
and they filmed him so much because he was the camera allowed him. So if you now when he's not when he's ending his football career, maybe be a movie star. So sign him for your movies. You don't need to pay him because he's a
You can be
rich.
producer as well.
Yeah, he can be a producer, so why not?
Why
I mean,
not? 2 in 1.
yes. I don't know if he from Croatia, Serbia, and
I don't know, he's some mix.
yeah, he's
Like
I think French.
Zlatan Ibrahimovic. We were. Oh, it was funny. We were shooting
Bosnia.
in a street. Bosnia.
There's some mixed Croatian or
He's extremely popular, which I didn't know. I'm not a.
because you're not football.
Yes,
Yeah, I like Barcelona, but I'm not that of a buff. So when we were shooting in a street where he has a house. So thank you. I just wanted to ask you for that. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And then
Bring with me.
5 of the Swedish guys that were our helpers, so-called crew, they were first thing when we got to the object, they said, "Look at this! This is the house of Zlatan Ibrahimovic." We were standing right as the most important thing in Stockholm. Oh, okay, this is a photographic gallery. This is a museum of contemporary art, but this is the house of Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
And I'm not even interested in football, but when I was very interested in his house in Malmö.
Yes, it's beautiful.
Yes.
But now he sold it.
Yeah, 3 million euros.
Yeah, and when he bought the house, I know, he bought it from somebody.
Yeah.
He knocked on the door and said, "I'm interested in this house, how much would you like?" That's the story, I don't know if it's true. But
He has a
it's-
lot of interesting stories. I was reading his a few of his extremely popular sentences. He is like some kind of a modern football prophet. So everything he does becomes an anecdote.
Yeah.
And he's not stupid.
But I think
And
he's
educated,
pretty
but not
funny as well. And
He
he
is,
is
he
very
is.
funny.
And the camera loves him. And
Yeah.
as you can see in this commercial he's making, and he
Yeah,
loves
he's doing that.
making them for Volvo and whatever. But and it's, you can also, if you're not interested by yourself, you can add it to your colleagues. And he's very proud of his Balkan background.
Balkan background,
Yeah, very
Bosnian background, and
Yeah.
and also a Swedish country.
Yeah.
Yeah. When he's there, he's talking about Balkan background, but when he comes here, he talks.
Yeah.
But Swedish team played good football in World Cup without him.
yeah, it was very good. I also mentioned that. Well, they don't need probably. I guess we
For a
don't
month,
need it.
everybody talked that he's not a team player.
Yeah, he's not the
I'm
star.
kind of sorry about
Yeah.
that.
No,
And,
but he's good.
So anyway,
but
can we
will you be there tonight at the?
Yeah, of course.
So I will bring this.
I had it.
Great.
You gave me a
Yeah,
lot.
but I will bring the brochure and make some notes for you.
Thank you very much.
And I will bring you this bag that you gave me.
And you will
yeah.
be on Sunday here as well.
I will be.
Sunday to see
Yeah,
his
until
movies.
Sunday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, he's here. Everybody's here.
All right, now.